few blocks from each other. Went to the same schools, but didn't know each other, which is kind of amazing in a certain way. But yeah, we both grew up there.
Let's talk to the actors. I am a person who's on a bunch of different critics who vote at the end, critic societies, and I know that this film will come up, and it will come up in relation to, can we give it a special award for the ensemble cast? Because who's the lead and who's supporting? So what I want to ask is how you made it into an ensemble, because the three stages of Sharon and the three stages of the friend Kevin, who eventually becomes lover Kevin, they never meet. And so I'm curious about how you, any of you, found yourselves in relation to your younger selves or your older selves or like that.
That's on y'all.
Well, I guess, shall I start us off? Is that okay?
Sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's so special to get a chance to share this with you guys. You know, it's so generous, and we really, really, truly appreciate it. I think one of the interesting things about the sort of three generations three versions of these two people is that none of us ever met. None of the actors ever met, and that was as per Barry's guidance. And I think we all were sort of hungry to get a hand on each other and kind of figure out, all right, well, how does this person talk and move and speak? But at the end of the day, what we really were after was sort of capturing the essence of who these people were, and Barry was brilliant in sort of guiding us to that. So I'm really excited to know that you felt like there was some cohesion and that it was exciting. What do you think, Alex?
I think it was amazing. Just the way we all look alike. We even act alike. It's like so unreal. It's crazy. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming out and supporting this movie.
I'll say something on that question. I think a lot of what Barry kind of wanted was for us to find our own identity within our characters. There's no way I can relate with him personally, and there's no way I can relate with him personally. So I think not meeting the other two actors was almost like this amazing feeling where you know that Andre Holland's playing the older you, but you don't think about it because you're busy trying to personalize it for yourself. And then when you watch the way Andre portrayed the character, and the way he portrayed the character, it's like, how did this line up so perfectly? So yeah.
And then also to kind of back off of that, I think what was so beautiful about what Barry did as well was that he really wanted us to focus on, we all change throughout our life, and we really wanted to focus on different points, really specific points, and how we did change throughout that time. So it was really, and just to add on that, the playwright and the script gave us so much to work off of as well. Like, it just kind of hopped out actually, like when reading it. So I feel like that's what we were able to connect and bring across the same type of like character vibes. Just to say that.
And then the two women have another problem because theirs is the problem of aging through this whole thing and keeping one character. And so I wondered about that. I guess what I'm asking about is how much did you know about what might have happened between each of the three parts? How much did you talk about that, think about that?
Well, I think for me, I felt very connected to Teresa when she was young and with Juan, and after Juan had disappeared and she was with herself. I knew her, you know. I felt like she was the young auntie, the older cousin in my community that I could always talk to. She was a nurturer. She was consistent in that. That never changed. She may have been, you know, dressing differently, but I wanted to make sure that throughout, from the beginning, middle, end, every time you saw her, she was consistent. She was the nurturer. She was that shoulder that you could lean on. She would not judge you, and that she was really there for them every stage of their lives. So I made sure that that was very clear in each scene, or I tried to at least. I don't know. Hopefully, you know.
I think for me, you know, you only see, it's Chirone's story, and so you only see Paula at those moments that are important to convey Chirone's story. And so there are huge gaps in the story of Paula and what's happening to her, and that actually is a really exciting challenge as an actor, because you get to use your imagination to tie up all those dots and to create a journey for yourself. And the main thing for me in creating Paula's story was that I had a lot of judgment when I first read the script about, you know, her drug addiction and about her being a very, you know, bad mother in my eyes, and very brutal and very cold. And the biggest journey for me was finding compassion for her and finding a way to fall in love with this character, because I think to play any character you have to, on some level, fall in love with them. And the way I did that was by researching drug addiction, particularly crack addiction among women, and I found that the vast majority of these women had experienced some form of sexual abuse in their life. And that led me on to having so much compassion for Paula, and also exploring further her story. And I just wanted to know what makes someone into a mother like this. How does someone not have love, or not have the ability? It's not that she doesn't have the love, she does have the love for her son, but she has an inability to express it. And how does that happen? And it was a beautiful journey, because I had to confront all my own issues of judgment and overcome those to be able to play her.
I want to get Juan into this, because his presence hangs over the entire film. I mean, he is the role model for Chiron. He's the person who, you know, Chiron tries to become. And so, what did you do to have that kind of presence? And were you thinking forward in the film, even though you wouldn't be there? Is that a terrible question?
The main thing I try to do with this character is connect to his heart, and because I feel like all his actions came from that place. So for the first time, I spent a lot of time, from the outside, it would look like I was talking to myself. But it was the first time I spent a lot of time having a conversation with the character, trying to get to know him. I felt like he had to have a spirit, so I prayed for him. I tried to create a relationship with this person, German. And then the rest of it was managing anxiety. But in all honesty, Alex is just a special little kid, and the story is amazing. It was the best script I've ever read. So a lot of the work was done for me, and Barry's such a phenomenal director. So just a combination of a lot of things, I think, contributed to what I hope is a believable relationship.
Yeah, you know, I'll piggyback on that, because, you know, we were talking about the time that passes between the stories. You know, one does not carry over into the second story. And for me, it was important important for Juan to not carry over into the second story because there are kids who grew up where I grew up where there will be a surrogate father figure like Juan, and that person is snatched away from them without notice. And I wanted you guys sitting in this room to have this just amazing character snatched away from you without notice, to feel what these kids feel when these things happen. And it's kind of like Eisenstein, you know, the information's in the cut, you know. And so we have these flashes between stories because people were living lives, you know, as the chapters are transitioning, and then you get to chapter 2, and it's a whole new person. Same character, but different person, because the world is just so damn heavy sometimes.
I'm very sorry, I'm going to have to snatch you all away.
Y'all got